Hi everyone, it's Shirley Farrar from Encouragement on Fire. And this is Mother's Day weekend, and I'm sitting with my mother. You can see her, she's a little off to the side here. She was like, I don't want to be coming on camera. But I am sitting here with her, and we are planting seeds. Isn't it wonderful? We're always talking about being as organic with your food as possible because what are we doing? We are fighting sickness, right? Cancer, sickness, and disease. And so one of the ways we do that is by making sure that we are eating as original as possible. So that means getting out those seedlings and planting. So let me show you what I've been doing. So my mom and I have been out planting in the garden. That's what we call it, a garden outside. As we're moving through the year in our life work balance, I'm going to be showing you some of the things that we've been planting. But today, what I'm sharing with you right here is it's called burpee. You can see it. So at the bottom there's water, and then there's like all these different layers, and then the soil is at the top. And they have these little, Mom, can you hand me one of those little pods inside that little brown box? They have these little pods inside. I'm going to show you guys what we're starting. And I'm going to tell you if it actually works. So as you can see, this is what we purchased. We got it from like a Home Depot, Lowe's, and it is Burpee 36 cell self-watering seed starting system. Now, this is what is in each of these little pods in here, and it's 36 of them, but they're a little smaller. These are the larger ones that I have purchased. However, you pour the water in there. As you can see, we have this. I'm going to go get a cute little pot, so you'll be able to see that in the future. But as I'm going through, as you can see a little bit. I'm going through making sure that each of them have a little bit of water, and then the pods actually burst from the water, and they make wonderful soil for you to be able to put all the little seeds in there. Isn't that wonderful? So we're hopeful that in about maybe 6 weeks, we shall see something pop up.
Let me see.
And Mom, you're going to look on there. It might be 2 weeks, but I'm going to give it at least 6 weeks, and I'll be watering it.
3 to 4 plants per hill.
Okay.
Oops.
And so what we're going to do is when they do pop up, then I'm going to transfer these to a bigger pot, and then a bigger pot. And what we have outside, we actually have what would we call that, Mom?
A hothouse.
A hothouse. So we have, it's a nice cage that we were using actually for the dogs, but the dogs now have their own fenced in part of the yard. And so we're using that. We took off the top. You'll get to see it, don't worry, in the future. And we're going to put a top on top of it so the sun beams in. And then I have all the hanging vegetables inside. And you're going to see that as we're moving forward. Because we're trying to be very healthy as we're working through our life work balance. Okay? So let me see, Mom, what seeds are we doing first?
Uh,
All right. So we
either
are
one
going
of these.
let's start with our squash. You can see it.
Okay.
Squash. And we are going to, Mom has, I'm going to show you what she did. We labeled them, as you can see, labeling. So each one of these we're going to put on the side and have squash so we know what's coming up so we can keep all like things together. Okay? All right, so we're going to take some time to do that. And then I want you to go back to our session for podcast number 88. And we are still talking about life work balance. So I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Hi, everyone. As you can see, it's an all natural day today, and it's very nice outside. It is, like I told you earlier, it is Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to everyone who is out there. Um, my mom and I, we were able to do this. Look at that. We have summer squash, we have cucumber, cilantro, radish, green cabbage, string beans. On the other side, I have hot chili peppers, which many of you can use that on your, it's a special remedy for your feet when you're having some issues with, um, the pain in your feet, things like that. So we'll talk about that as we go forward. Like I said, life work balance. But as you can see, we did a lot here. And I have some wonderful plants that my husband gave me for Mother's Day, and my children, my sons gave me. Lovely flowers. So just letting you know. But I wanted to go back today, as always. We're always talking about, life work balance. And because this weekend I did something special with my mom, we went outside, we planted the bulbs from last year that we dug up, we put them all around the house and, worked. It's good to use your hands. Anyone who loves to use your hands, right? If your one of your Holland codes is realistic, you love to use your hands. You know what I'm talking about if we've had that conversation. But I was out there and it was very refreshing. I know a lot of people saying that's work. No, it's refreshing to get in there and to get your hands into the dirt. I still probably have to get my hands a little more cleaner before I start cooking dinner tonight. But it was wonderful. We put, I believe, sunflowers as well in the garden and a few other items as they are coming up. I will show you what they look like. But I always want to go back to the scriptures and what does it say about plants? This is the month for mental health and all of those individuals out there that have been a little stressed, like I have been lately. But I'm casting my cares on God because He cares for me, right? But the scripture says some things in regards to our planting, our gardens. It says a lot of things, but I want to take you back to the beginning. And this particular scripture is Genesis 1:29 through 30. It says, Then God said, I give you every seed bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. So there's a reason that we plant. We need to plant in order to have food. Now, I know some of you are saying I can go to the supermarket. Well, what's the fun in that always? Don't you want to grow your own? Maybe you want to come along with us and grow some different items, and then you can share in the chat and on our Facebook page. You can take pictures of your items and share it there, like we're going to do. I'm hopeful because I've never had a green thumb. Okay, I've never. My sisters have green thumbs. They can grow anything in the garden, plants in the house, all of my sisters. I'm the only one. My plants end up dying. I'm hopeful that these stay alive. I have to try, right? We all have to try. So then it goes on to Genesis 1, verse 30, and it says, And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it. Mm. So that's everything. You have dogs, you have cats, that's, humans. Everything that you have, all of your, the little creatures that you have gotten from, the stores, and they have breath in their bodies. It says, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. So God prepared for all of us to have original plants, right? And what better than to, during the month of where we have mental health awareness, we plant our own vegetables, right? We plant our own flowers, whatever it is that makes you happy. You plant a seed, plant a tree, anything you want to do, because science has, there's statistical evidence that planting green things, planting flowers helps our mental state. And having it in your home, having it in your office. I have plenty of coworkers, they have plants in their office. You know who you are. I think it's wonderful because you look at those plants and they bring you, peace, serenity, right? Brings you, I don't know, it's just something about seeing the plants, right? Not only does it bring you oxygen, right? When we have our plants in our homes, they bring us oxygen, but it also brings us something else when we touch it, when we feel it. And God knew that. And it would also bring us food. Okay. So I want all of you, I want you to be encouraged. Be encouraged this week, this entire month of May, to maybe, if you don't want a plant, go and get a plant. Put it in your office. Go and get a plant. Put it in your house. Put it by your bedside. Make sure you get it. It's getting sunlight though, and you're watering it, right? We have all these apps on the phone that we can take and look at, how do I take care of this plant? Some people, like I said, my siblings, they could just do it with no problems. They don't have any problems at all. But the rest of us, we kind of need to, get an instruction manual and figure it out. So that's what I have done this weekend. And I have a lot of energy. After doing that, I would have thought that I would have been exhausted. We were out there for like 3 hours. And I would have thought, and then before that, we went to the store because my mom, I needed to take her on errands. And then we got back here and she said, let's go out in the garden. 3 hours later, here we are. And I have a lot of energy left, right? So, see, when we're doing those things that make us happy, doing the things that bring us peace, there's something about that. So, I encourage you again this month, look at the scriptures, you know, plant some food that you may have some in the weeks to come, or get a plan that will bring you peace and comfort. Okay? All right. Well, also, I will see you next week for our 89th podcast, where we're going to continue to talk about life work balance. However, after that, I have a special, oh my goodness, a special presentation on my 90th podcast. I interviewed a young woman, and her name is Tanya Hall. She endured breast cancer, and I want her to tell you her story. But you're going to be hearing about it in the weeks to come. I'm going to keep emphasizing it, but I want you to hear her story. She talked about she was also a one percenter, and they did a write up about her. And she's going to tell her story about how she overcame cancer and how her faith was very impactful, how her husband was very impactful, how her inner circle, the individuals that she set aside around her, her children, were an encouragement for her survival. Okay? Well, I'm Shirley Farrar, and this has been Encouragement on Fire. You guys see my Conqueror shirt. I'll talk to you soon.